What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Saf in the City. Great to have you all back. This is crazily and happy and sad in all the ways the last episode of Israel for the year. It's pretty crazy. Saf in the City actually took off in Israel. And, you know, we're just beginning. At this point, it's under a week left here, which is super crazy. I'm so proud of myself for making it through. I remember going into the year how nervous I was and how many questions, and I didn't know what to expect, but it was such a great year, and I was so lucky to have a year to just figure things out and have fun and just be away, and truly a special opportunity. So to anyone else that's listening that went through the same thing this year, pat on the back to you because it wasn't easy, and I'm proud of you. And to anyone else that's listening that didn't just go through a year like that, you made it through year two. No matter what happened, the good, the bad, here we are at the end of the day, and hopefully on top, and that's all that counts. All right, so let's get into things, guys. Last episode, crazy stuff. So I just want to, I like to reflect on my podcast. So I'll start with a little bit of that. I think that this year, one of the main things that was, a conflict was, I'm in a weird stage of life, I'm trying to grow and I'm trying to mature. But at the same time, I just finished high school and I'm just trying to fool around and have fun. So like I've spoken about, it's all about that balance, and I've been working on it. It's very difficult, but it's a weird stage of life, and it causes a lot of issues because my internals, they're always having an argument, what should I do? Should I go to sleep and wake up early tomorrow? No, that's gonna be boring. I should go out and go with my friends. And sometimes I'm not gonna say the right or wrong decision, but I make different decisions, and that's okay. That's part of figuring out the balance. But what I realized honestly today is that when it comes to my balance, the most important thing is to be honest. Because if I'm not honest about my balance, then I'm not gonna get anywhere. So as someone who likes to get somewhere and who likes to grow, what I realized is that growth comes from facing the hard questions and getting to the bottom of it. You have to ask yourself the questions that really matter, and the ones that are going to take time and effort and thought, because that's what's going to change. That's what really matters. And through that, I think that this year I learned to appreciate the struggles of growing, because the struggles is what caused you to grow, and at the end of it, it's so much more rewarding, and you really see the change, and you really feel like you did something. I feel like I did something. That's what I'm trying to say. And sometimes it's hard. Sometimes I don't know the direction to go, and I don't know what to think or what to do. And what I've learned through that is that when I feel lost, I have to go find someone who I can have a real conversation with. No small talk. You just go, you sit, call them. It doesn't even matter. And you just speak your mind. And a lot of the time, just through talking through an idea out loud, you notice things that you didn't notice. I notice things, and I come up with conclusions that I didn't have before. It's called interdependence. Interdependence, I think I've spoken about it, it's being independent, but knowing that you accomplish more with, call it a teammate. You are doing it, but you're just having someone guide you along the way. So I think that that's really important to do. And, I'm just sharing some of my experiences this year. And, hopefully you guys are just enjoying the story or can connect to it in a way. Anyone could take away anything they want from Saf in the City. That's the goal. We are an open podcast. All right. Next, I think that this year, another thing that helped me a lot is just gaining perception. I realized all of life's perception. There's very few things that are definitive. It's how you see things, how you act on things, how you respond to things. So the better my perception, the better I'll live my life. They really do go hand in hand. The better perception I have, the better I'll be able to handle situations, the better I'll be able to react to situations. So that's just something that became super important for me to work on. And I'm going to tell a story, not a personal story, but just a story that happened. No, actually, I don't think it happened. But anyway, here we go. So a guy went over to another guy, and he said to him, hey, do you want $10 million? And the other guy's like, yeah, for sure. Why wouldn't I want $10 million? And the first guy's like, here's the catch. I'll give you $10 million, but you can't wake up tomorrow morning. That's it. And the guy who was getting offered the deal, he goes, of course not. Of course I'm not taking that. So the first guy says to him, you see that? You right away said no to $10 million to not wake up tomorrow. Doesn't that show you how valuable that tomorrow is? You should wake up feeling way more than $10 million, hop out of bed, and appreciate how valuable this day is. I heard this story already 2 weeks ago, and there's only been 2 days probably around where I've thought about this getting up, but it really does help. Every day is so valuable. Tomorrow morning is worth more than $10 million. And I think that's so crazy and can help with the perception, which, like I said, just helps with everything else. So I think that tomorrow, let's all wake up and just think today is it's priceless. Every day is priceless, and it's such a good opportunity. And it really is. Like today, like I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have the best day, but it wasn't too bad. But what I took with what happened today that was making me feel bad, I can now use to go forward and have better days, which also ended up making today be a good day. Like, you know how crazy that is? There's a quote that I found from a book that really helped me this year. And it's a little cringe, but it's the message that's there. The quote is, you can't go back and make some of the things pretty, but you can move forward and make the whole thing beautiful. And I think there's really something to that. You know, like when you think the puzzle's complete, it's barely even starting. So, you know, like look back on your mistakes or things that you wish could have gone a little differently and just make the next thing clear and beautiful, for real. And I do want to share another story that I actually really liked. It clicks into the perception and just listen. So let me find it. All right, here we go. So there was a woman in an airport, and she was sitting waiting for her flight. So she goes buys these cookies, and she takes a box of cookies, and she's sitting down on this table waiting for her flight. And all of a sudden, she sees a guy put his hand in her box of cookies, and he starts eating the cookies. And she looks at him with like confusion and discomfort, and she's like, "What?" I don't know. Anyway, so then she takes a cookie to like show like these are mine, but she didn't say anything. And then he takes a cookie, and then she takes a cookie. And she is like, what is going on? She is getting angry. She is confused. And they keep going cookie for cookie. And they get to the last cookie. And the guy takes the cookie, splits it, gives her a half. They both eat half. And he walks away. And she is like, what is going on? She was fuming. She gets on her flight, sits down in her seat, and she opens her bag. And she sees the box of cookies that she bought. And she felt like an idiot. She's like, no way. The whole time I thought that I was eating my cookies and I was mad at him for eating my cookies, but really he was sharing his cookies with me. That's crazy. She felt so bad. But it just shows a difference. Like, you know, she was really mad when she thought it was her cookies. But he was in the same, he was in that situation. She was just eating his cookies and he didn't get mad. He's sharing the wealth, you know? And I think that that's a mentality. Like, you know, it shows that you want to be more like that first guy and not like that woman. Because, like I said, the better the perception is, the better life is. Like, this guy lost more and was happier. She got more and was unhappier. Just stuff to think about, just stuff to sit on, you know? And what else do I have to talk about, you guys, today? I have a joke. I just do want to think if there's anything else I want to say. All right, we'll say one more thing. Like I said in the beginning, you know, I made it through the year. This year has been a roller coaster. As someone who loves roller coasters, this has been one of the best ones for sure. You know, life's going to be up and downs, but that's how it should be. And like I've said, anyone who stays with me and who's been on this journey, I appreciate you. I love you. You guys are the real ones. And stick with me because the journey's really just beginning, you know? Like, no matter how much I accomplish, I just keep seeing, like, how much further I am away. But I don't let that bring me down. Instead, I'm like, wow, now I could do that. Now I could do that. Strive for greatness out here. We're here to live one life. We're here as ourselves to leave our mark on the world. And that's not something that should be taken easy, you know? There's time to do a lot of things here. There's time to mess around. There's time to grow and everything. And I don't know, at 19 years old, standing here tonight at 11:28 p.m., all I can say is I'm confused as hell, but finding some clarity and just making my way. So thank you to all of you. And let's finish off with the joke. All right, so there's a woman in labor. Suddenly she shouts, shouldn't, wouldn't, couldn't, didn't, can't. And the doctor goes up to her. He goes, don't worry, those are just contractions. The delayed laugh, because I think it took a second to get. For me, it did at least. Hopefully you guys get that one. I think that was one of the best jokes that's been on here. Let's try to get this to 10 minutes. We're at 9:32. Saf in the City, guys. I love this show. Always feel free to respond. And Saf in the City's coming with me, guys. In the next stage, wherever we end up, I'm always looking to keep this going. I really feel like that Saf in the City is a big part of my journey. You know, maybe one day I'll look back and be like, whoa, I don't know. But I do feel like that this show has been something to me, and it really means a lot. and we're about to be at 10. So love you guys all. Have a good night. See you in America.